Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's Walter, and in today's video I'm going to talk to you guys about 5 common issues that come across scat packs. To be honest, it's kind of any Mopar. It's not specifically to scat packs. As we'll go down the list, you'll kind of see as to what I'm talking about. I want to say like 5 to 6 years I've driven nothing but Challengers. I used to have a great V6 back in the day, and now I'm in my Scatpack. And the reason I bring that up is because throughout the time that I've owned these cars, I've come across issues, and I've seen a lot of things online as well, you know, kind of noticing that people are having similar issues. And even with the Scatpack today, I follow certain YouTubers and I've noticed that they've gone through the same things that I've gone through. So that's kind of what motivated me to make this video. But yeah, hopefully this video helps you guys out. Now, the way I've constructed my list is kind of like from, I guess you could say, like least problematic to the most problematic. And definitely as I go down the list, you're gonna see, especially 4 and 5, they're kind of big. Now the first one, I'm just gonna mention it just so it's more for like those people who are buying Scatpack. They have money aside for it. I'm not gonna be on this topic for too long. Everyone talks about them and it's kind of like a well-known problem, and that's gonna be the tires. Now I know it's kind of like with any Hemi too, besides the V6, but for whatever reason Dodge offers like shitty tires from factory. So if you're planning on buying a Mopar yourself, whether it's a Scatpack, even an RT, definitely Hellcat, anything, just have money aside, and once you're actually going to go buy your car, just order yourself brand new tires. If you want to get the most performance out of this car, definitely tires has to be the biggest upgrade you can honestly do to this car. But like I mentioned, most people know that like the tire option for these Mopars are trash. So that's all I gotta say about that. Now for number 2 on my list of common issues, it's gonna have to be of the fact that this kind of happens more with higher mileage Hemis. I've noticed it happening on this car, and I've seen other people have the same issue, is that the car kind of burns oil. And what I mean by that is, in between oil changes, obviously you want to keep your oil at a safe level to make sure that the car is well lubricated. And I've noticed that it'll significantly start going down below the safe level, especially if you're not on top of it. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, and I know other people have had to do some type of topping off in between oil changes. Now, this one was lower on my list because I don't really notice too many people doing it. Like I said, this doesn't happen all the time. It's not a consistent issue. I've only had to do it like one time, I want to say, but it is something to look out for. And I just want to bring this up just because I know a lot of people who have these cars, you know, push them to their limits. It's just something to look out for. You know, it doesn't hurt to check your oil levels just to make sure that they are safe. Now for number 3 on my list, I feel like this one's pretty well known too. While the automatic in this car is amazing, over time, I guess as you start driving, it tends to turn a little bit sluggish. And this one's kind of common. I've seen Rush, Who Is Louie, a bunch of other like YouTubers that have Mopars. To my knowledge, it does happen to Hellcats too. Just basically anything that has this 8-speed automatic transmission. It doesn't necessarily mean the transmission's broken. From my understanding and from like what I've seen on forums and videos, I guess their car tries to learn as how you drive, I guess. I think Who Is Louie has a full video on this. He kind of shows as to how he gets it fixed, and he kind of goes more into detail, so I definitely check that video out. Dang, I forgot where I left off. My GoPro just overheated. I just took it out the freezer right now. All right, now number 5 is kind of like has to do with the electronics in general. At the end of the day, this is a Chrysler. This is from FCA. So one thing to look out for is definitely gonna have to be anything that has to do with electronics. And what I mean by that is sometimes the button to lock the door doesn't work. Sometimes when you turn on the AC, it doesn't work. Sometimes the screen doesn't even turn on. And like other, you know, weird things like that. And it's like, it just kind of has like a lot of glitches. As I'm about to get into in like number 5, usually like the glitches, I kind of don't really think too much about them. Like I'm not gonna go run straight to the dealership, but just kind of expect it. It does happen in these cars. Like I said, I've had 2 Challengers. My dad has owned a Durango. He has a Ram Rebel now. He still has the Durango. He used to have a Dodge Magnum before. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you guys. They're all just kind of like that. They all just have weird glitches, and it's one of those things where you just kind of have to turn on and turn off your car. I don't know if Mustangs do it. I don't know if Camaros do it, but it does happen to this car, so just kind of be wary of that. Now, the only time I would worry is if it does it multiple times, especially if your warranty tends to be like almost at the expired stage. That's when maybe I'd kind of consider going to the dealership. If it does happen on like a frequent basis, like the AC in this car, for example, I'll turn on the car as I'm leaving the parking lot. I'll flick the AC on, and I'm noticing it's not turning on. Like I can put my hand to the vent and nothing's coming out. That's happened a couple times. I've honestly considered of taking it to the dealership just because it's kind of annoying. Because you know, I can hop on the freeway, right? Super hot. There's a bunch of unnecessary traffic sometimes. It can be in the middle of the day and it's stop and go traffic on the freeway. You know, when I'm in stop and go and I'm straight right under the sun on the 101 or something like that, and my AC is not working and I have to put my car in park, turn it off and all that stuff, you know, kind of risky to do it on the freeway. And that kind of ties me into number 6. I've noticed almost all like Challengers and Chargers for whatever reason have this issue. This is one electronic where if it's consistently going out, definitely take it to the dealership, because if not, it'll cost you a shit ton of money. And what I'm talking about is, as you can see, I try to put my hoodie right there so the sun isn't beating down on the GoPro. Mainly the radio, and in my case the instrument cluster. I've seen multiple people in person and in forums and in like YouTube, it's having these same issues where the radio just, the car can be on and it's black, like as if the car is off. It's happened both in this car, the Scatpack, and in the V6 that I owned back in the day. Now the reason why I say these are the electronics that you should definitely keep an eye on is because unfortunately what happens is sometimes even if you turn the car on and off multiple times, it will not come back on. And it's just kind of like one of those things, like you can touch any button, you can do whatever you can think, and it just doesn't come back on. When I had my V6, both the instrument cluster and the screen wouldn't turn on at all. My GoPro keeps overheating, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up really fast. But I forgot where I left off, but pretty much you wanna look out for the electronics. If, you know, they're acting up, it could build to something. And that's what happened in my V6. The radio and the instrument cluster stopped working. After trying for like a day or two, that's when I decided, all right, I gotta take it to a dealership. Still to this day, I don't really know as to what happened. They just said it stopped, like it broke, like both the instrument cluster and the radio, so they had to replace them. And this was all during like when I had bumper to bumper warranty, so I didn't have to worry about it. I did see like the paperwork, and it was kind of expensive because they literally had to replace everything. And I've seen other YouTubers go through it where the kind of radio acts up. It's unfortunate, but these are things that you can kind of expect as like a Challenger and Charger owner. Like I said, it kind of does happen to all Mopars, so it is something to take into consideration. Not in any way, shape, or form trying to complain, just trying to look out for people who, like I said, either have one, and maybe you're running across some of these issues, just so you can prepare yourself. You're not alone, basically, and try to give you some insight and maybe just help you at least a little bit. That's pretty much going to be it for this list of things. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any comments or questions, leave them down below and I'll try my best to help you guys out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.